You all have the opportunity to change the course of the future. Depending on how you see the world and what distinct ideas and solutions you can offer, that adults today have been unable to do so thus far.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2019 February LCM Intra-League Middle School Debate. Give a round of applause. In a debate, we have to ask questions, not only of ourselves, but of our ethical and moral frameworks that inform the policies that we make. Questioning is a means by which we can understand the natural world. Ancient Greeks believed that through questions and through dialogue, we can reach eternal truths. And that is basically the same case for today. Today, you will be forced to ask questions about what it means to have equality, to have security, what those terms mean.
Don't overstress about things and kind of just go with the flow and enjoy it, and you'll end up with a very good experience here.
Welcome, delegates, to our Intra-League debate here, February 2nd, 2019, here at the Stanford School of Medicine. Today, I will ask you all to keep present one main idea. As a Parliament or House member, you have been tasked to represent a group of people in either your state or your province. And so today, you are the voice for all of those who cannot be here and for all of those who are not allowed or will never have the opportunity to share their story. And with that, we will open our intra-league debate.
The Australian Parliament House of Representatives specifically is quite similar to the UK House of Commons, and I will call on a representative and they will rise, and as they are speaking, other representatives can stand up during that speech, and by standing up you are basically signaling to the speaker that you want to be yielded to, and it usually comes from the party or coalition of that speaker. Representatives wishing to speak, please raise your placards. Senator Wallace.
If we bring these kids to Australia to have medical treatment, or if we bring medical treatment to these kids, then simply more immigrants, more non-Australians will just flood our borders and we will be overwhelmed. And that is just simply not something that we can even consider, because we have to put Australia first.
New Zealand's generous offer to take them would be acceptable to let them go to New Zealand.
We're keeping the children in a traumatic place. We need to get them off. I don't care if it means coming to Australia, because it is most important that we provide these humans with what they are deserved.
I do believe in sending a team of medical professionals to Nauru, and I do believe that we should send as many immigrants as possible to New Zealand. However, that is a temporary fix. There will always be more immigrants.
And move these refugees from Nauru and Manus to Christmas Island Detention Center. It is much cheaper, and they will be able to receive the proper medical attention there.
There have been many human rights violations on the conditions on Nauru. Quoting a UN reporter, Francois Crapau, saying that the conditions in Nauru are cruel, inhumane, and degrading. And you think that it is a good idea to send medical attention to a place described as so. We need to bring these immigrants to Australia, not for permanent refuge. We can allow them to apply for asylum legally, and we will also allow them to get the medical attention that they deserve.
They are not illegal immigrants. They are instead refugees seeking asylum. The irrational fear, and frankly, racist fear, that refugees are these crazy people has not only damaged our reputation, it has damaged our reputation among international waters.
I think what we're all forgetting here is that we're not outlawing refugees from coming into Australia. We are simply instituting a ban on the boats that are bringing in there. And the reason for this, which I think many people have been overlooking, is that because the boat journeys these refugees take are often dangerous, many people die, and it's just another way of illegal immigration coming in. So we're not banning all refugees. There are perfectly legal ways for them to immigrate into Australia.
The boat is the only way they can come. So it's not like they have another more legal way. No, due to the conditions that they currently live in.
Australia typically admits 12,000 to 13,000 asylum seekers annually through its humanitarian program. But from 2015 to 2016, Australia has admitted 13,750 refugees. Australia is not ready to admit these many refugees.
What does the international community think of this? The UN thinks this is embarrassing. Australia has long upheld international law, and we should not break it now. Thank you.
It is really surprising on how long it is taking us to figure out how to deal with these illegal immigrants when so many other countries have so many more than we do.
There are 1,200 known deaths at sea, and that's just known deaths, and those are insanely hard to record. Imagine how many more people are dying just trying to get here. And that was while Labour was in government.
We cannot screen for mental disabilities or for problems like anxiety or depression on the island of Nauru.
Therefore, I propose taking everyone off Nauru temporarily and upgrading the facility so that it is less like a prison camp and more like home. People come to Australia to escape lives of violence and, quite frankly, awful conditions. We should not, and what they are met with Nauru, a tiny island smaller than Melbourne Airport, and they live in tents.
We will now proceed with a debate on the first agenda item, which is health care for people on Nauru.
It's our responsibility to fix the mistakes that we've made.
Help rebuild the hospitals and medical centers that are supposed to be there.
So why spend taxpayer money to build these illegal immigrants nice new facilities when we can send them to New Zealand who's made an offer? That's complete sense.
We cannot just send people to New Zealand and say, done, problem solved. There's always going to be more refugees. We can't just send them all off to New Zealand. That's a temporary solution, but it only deals with about 150 of the 1,278 people either on Nauru or PNG, which is another processing center.
We will be entering our second half of the day.
We are going to rename it to the Christmas Island Refugee Camp because we don't want people to think that this is a detention center because this is more of a camp until we can find out where they should be permanently.
You guys say it's a refugee camp and you change it from a detention camp. To change the words of something, just one word, refugee, to the detention, the refugee camp, does not change what it actually is. It is a detention camp, and even if you skim over it by changing the words now, it does not mean anything.
Problem with the bill proposed by Sharkey is that they are planning on giving blankets and food and fresh water to these people who are criminals, and that's giving them what they want. So I propose that instead set up a donation system.
A GoFundMe.
So that people can donate extra resources.
There's a
reason behind every single thing that they're doing. And treating these people like, oh, these are illegal people, we don't want them in our country, is a horrible mindset to have. These people are trying to come to Australia and come to these countries because their home, their place where they were born is not a safe place for them to be anymore. We are trying to help these people and not just like pushing them aside and putting them to, say, for example, these other islands is creating a short-term solution and not looking forward to the future and not creating a long-term solution.
You have 10 minutes. I want the legislation to be finalized so we can begin debating and voting on it. All those in favor of introducing Amendment 1.1?
If an immigrant does not apply for an asylum status, after 4 full months, they will be sent back to their origin country.
Declaring future immigrants arriving by boats will be asked for immigration status, passport, or any other proof of their asylum status. If sufficient evidence is given of asylum status, they will be given visas and allowed to apply for citizenship in Australia.
Okay, so this bill does not give these illegal immigrants direct access to Australia. They get the medical attention that they deserve, they get the chance to legally apply for citizenship, and they also get the chance to possibly get their lives together in that time.
There is a lot of disagreement on this amendment, so we can get past that disagreement through a moderated debate.
We also cannot stop the boats policy. It is working and it is preventing us from having an outrageous flood of immigration into our country.
What exactly are we protecting them from? We're protecting them from children. We're protecting them from little kids and their parents who are seeking refuge in this country. Is that what we're protecting our citizens from? Because that doesn't really seem like much of a threat to me.
Australia has already taken a large amount of refugees, as the Prime Minister mentioned, and we just simply cannot take them in and provide for a good life without overdrawing the resources and putting everyone else in the country in a harmful position.
Actually, Australia is a first world country, so it actually does have the resources for a bit more people. Also, this is not a huge increase. This is about 1,000 people, and also you have to apply to get this asylum-seeking status. You don't just get automatically let into the country.
If you completely remove this policy and allow them all into Australia, you would be adding at a minimum 50,000 people, and it would keep growing each year as more people found the ability to expose this amendment. This makes absolutely zero sense. You're granting free passage for those who are not in dire need of it, and those who are forced to come, like the people stuck in Nauru, they're the ones in trouble, not the people flooding our ports. Thank you.
We are now in voting procedure. The doors are barred. All in favor of 1.1. Come on, please raise your placards. All those opposed. Wait, no, she didn't raise her placard. With a vote of 17 to 14 to 2, this passes by one vote. The sponsors of 1.0 may come to the floor.
One, accepts the offer of New Zealand's government and sends 150 refugees by boat.
I would just like to start by pointing out that this bill fixes many of the issues that were brought up in the last bill Q&A session. It specifies the priorities that we have in place. It removes the children first, followed and keeps them with their families, and then follows with people with severe mental health issues. This is something that the last bill failed to recognize, and I believe that is a flaw.
We will try and treat them better, and we are going to make this humane with the United Nations, as we said. We're going to also give them the extra food and blankets and water that they want. Esteemed representatives, this resolution is an amazing compromise as it sends aid to the people on Nauru, as well as removing them from the island and working to find permanent situations for them without bringing these illegal immigrants into our country.
I was wondering if this bill would provide education for the kids on Christmas Island.
And then the rest of them all go to Christmas Island and wait for some country that may or may not step in to help them get off the island. Are they just going to sit there and wait for, forever until someone steps in? How long? do they have to wait before someone's going to come and, give them a better life? Or these children are just going to grow up sitting on an island and waiting for someone to save them from, terrible conditions.
So this is the main problem that we're having with this bill right now, because it completely contradicts the bill of the amendments that we just had.
And this amendment, you have to have probable cause for needing asylum and needing to stay in Australia. And the other amendment just simply gives it away. And I think we need to fix that because that is really important for, as our Prime Minister stated, the safety of our people and the respect of our borders. Thank you.
All those in favor of Amendment 1.0, please raise your placards. I do not want any crosstalk. Raise them high.
No.
Raise
What are you doing?
All those opposed.
Yes, but someone.
No, it's with a vote of 21 to 10 to 2.
Sam, did you actually run?
Yes. All those who believe in no confidence in the majority government, please raise your
Guys,
placards.
everyone raise your placard except for her.
It's okay, Kendall. We support you.
Yes.
Actually, Kendall, I don't love you.
It's a majority.
I'm sorry. This clearly passes. Now the majority party will be able to proceed into the hallway and choose a new prime minister.
Shoot, it's time. I want to go to it.